Okay, anybody think they got this one? Jake, what do you think, Jake? Oh, is that what you said, Jake? Okay, yeah, we have one Jake at home, one Jake here. They both got it right. So 3/2. It was my fault. Yeah, so just be careful now, because last period they tried to put a 1 right here because they didn't see anything written in, but that there's nothing written in, that means it's actually a 2. All right, so this little index number, we don't have to write the 2 in, but that's what that would then mean. All right, so good, both of you. Now, other two, pretty straightforward. No tricks here. This is your n. The 6 has to be your denominator, and then the exponent is your numerator. Number 12, actually. Yeah, go ahead and do number 12 real quick. Make sure we got that one. This one I would qualify as a somewhat harder one. All right, so be a little careful with this one. All right, anybody think they got this? This out there. Okay, Jake at home. What do you got, Jake? Good. So we have that 5x. This has to be your denominator, but we also need a numerator. And the fact that we don't have this raised anything just means that power is a 1. So our exponent should be a 1/3. All right, so just 5x and then all of that raised to the 1/3 power. That's largely the new stuff. It's just being able to go back and forth, understanding a fractional power is a radical. So to kind of elaborate on that a little bit and then do a little review, that's what we have on the next page. So go to number 13. And if you remember, this is something we did a few days ago. If we are multiplying like terms, so in this case, I'm going to take the 2 and this 1. So I can go ahead and multiply the 2 and the 1 together normally to get a 2. But then we also need to do n to the 2/3 multiplied by n to the 1/3. So recall, if you look at the bottom of your paper, if I did this the other day when we were doing these, if I gave you n squared times n to the 4th, do you remember how we actually added those together to get an n to the 6th? It's the same thing with this problem up here. You're multiplying like terms, so we need to add those exponents. So this would be an n, and then all we're doing now is we have to add 2/3 and a 1/3. That's one that hopefully we can do without a calculator, but if you certainly can use your calculator, that would be 3/3. They had a like denominator already. 3/3 is really just a 1, so this is really just 2 times n to the 1st power, or if we don't want to write the 1, just 2 times n. Right? So with that, try number 14. Same idea. We're multiplying 2 terms together, see what if we understand what to do with each. You may need a calculator. Most of us probably do need a calculator. That's okay. All right. First should be nice. The 2 and the 4, you're just multiplying those together normally, so you better get 8. Then when you multiply your variables together, the exponents have to get added. So you should have done, and this, if you can do this without your calculator, good on you. I'm going to assume most of us probably threw that into our calculator. But we're adding those together. All right, so 1/4 plus 2/3. Hopefully, know how to plug this into your calculator. If not, you got to get a common denominator. Remember all that fun stuff? Where the 4 and the 3 are going to turn both of those into a 12. The way I would have done that is I would have multiplied the 4 by a 3. So I need to multiply the numerator by a 3. So that's a 3/12. I would need to multiply this by a 4, multiply that by a 4 to get an 8. And now they have common denominators. So hopefully, if you did that, or if you plug it into your calculator, we really just get 3 plus 8, which is an 11, and then your common denominator of 12, so 11/12. Do not give me a decimal answer. If you do not know how to plug fractions into your calculator, it's what we just did here. So let me show you again. Because if you try to do that as, let's make sure we know how to do this. What was that? 1/4 and a 2/3. If you just do 1 divided by 4 and then do plus 2 divided by 3, it's going to give you that as a decimal. Now, that's okay. You have an option. We should hopefully be able to convert this into a fraction. I got to remember how to do that myself. Crap. So if you have that decimal, the way we can convert that into a decimal is click your math button right here. And then what this first thing is telling you, see the little arrow into a fraction? It's going to take what is currently in your calculator, it's going to convert it into a fraction. So if I hit that, it's going to take that previous answer, convert it into a fraction, and then magically there's your 11/12. So that's one way. Or know how to do the fraction key. Hit the alpha y equals, and then we want number 1, and then that opens the fraction bar for you, 1/4. And then add that to, again, a fraction alpha y equals, we want number 1, so hit enter, 2/3. And if you put it in like that, it'll actually give it to you as a fraction answer. All right. So be able to do that. If you're not getting that, let me know. Stick around here in a minute. Hopefully we finish a little early. I can show you how to do that with your calculator. And obviously if you're in class, certainly can show you. All right, but that should be our final answer. What I do want you to do real quick though, rewrite this for me now. Do what we did on the previous page. Rewrite this as a radical. See, I want to see if we, remember what we just did 10 minutes ago. But there's something else I want to make sure we're clear on. So rewrite that like we were doing on the previous page. All right, and the reason I'm having you do this, I want to make sure we're clear on this. So come quiz, test, whatever time. There is a big difference between what I have highlighted in yellow and what I have highlighted in blue. The one that's in yellow, the only thing getting raised to the power of 11/12 is the x. So if you rewrite this, the 8 does not go underneath the radical. Only the x should be the 12th power of x to the 11th power. That's how that one would look. If the whole thing is squared, so if you look at the highlighted blue one, now everything is to that power. Now we would go ahead and put the 8 and the x underneath and make that the 12th power and an 12th index number with an 11th power. So just know the only thing is getting raised to that power is the x. Okay, so we don't want this one. This is what this one should convert to. Okay. All right, 15. Let's see if you remember this rule. If I gave you n squared, and then that was raised to the power of 4. So before these were fractions, you thought these were really easy, I would think. Remember how we actually multiplied these together to get an 8? So if I have a power to a power, we need to multiply the exponents, and that's what we have here. We have a power getting raised to its own power, so we need to multiply those exponents together. So you're doing 3/2 times a 1/2. When we multiply fractions, we just multiply straight across. So 3 times 1 is a 3. 2 times 2 is a 4. And then that's our answer. So just n to the 3/4. All right, so with that little review, do number 16. This should be n to the what? We have a power to a power. We should be multiplying those. So you're just doing 2 times 2/3. So 2 times 2/3. Now I said up here, you just multiply numerators together, you multiply denominators together. It's the same here. You may just want to put the denominator of the 2 as a 1, so it's a little bit easier to see. So we just do 2 times 2, which is a 4, and then the 1 times the 3 is a 3. So just n to the 4/3 power. Then our last exponent rule was when we were dividing like terms. So think back to when I would give you a problem like x to the 10th divided by x squared. When we did x 10th divided by x squared, we actually subtracted the exponents. So 10 minus 2 to get x to the 8th. So when we divide like terms, the exponents get subtracted. So what that would look like in this one, I'm going to get my x, but then I have to do the 4/3 and subtract the 1/3. This is a nice one. This one, hopefully, if you want to use your calculator, you're more than welcome to. But since those have common denominators, we can go ahead and do right away a 3/3. And then 3/3 is really just a 1. So we really just get an x right there as our final answer. Okay, last one. See if you can do this on your calculator. Now, I'm guessing most of us are going to have to do that. So however your calculator works, or however you anticipate adding and subtracting fractions on your calculator, give that a go and make sure that we can get this. I don't want this as a decimal. Do not give me a decimal exponent right now. Okay, and let's see if we can use our calculators right. So when we divide like terms, you're subtracting the exponents. So that's what I just have written here. So the numerator was 5/3. You're just going to subtract 1/2. So when we do that, if you did that correctly, you should have gotten 7/6. If you don't know how to do that, you may want to stick around, ask, and then I can show you again. Okay. All right, so that's the notes. That's pretty much it. Being able to do the old stuff and then understanding how we can rewrite these. So let me pull this up. Actually, let me do it this way. In your homework packets, here is the homework. It's page 15 in the homework packet. You're just doing 1 through 12. You're just doing page 15. There is a second page I don't want you to do. All right, so all you're doing is rewriting these. You're rewriting these, should be very quick. That's going to be due then tomorrow. If you haven't gotten today's uploaded, make sure that gets done by midnight tonight. All right, if you don't have the packet, you can still find it where it's always at. Here is tomorrow's date. So if you click on that, you can just find the assignment there. Whichever one you need to do should be good either way. All right, there she is. All right, so with that, that's all I got. If you need help with the calculator, if you are not getting that, let me know. You can stick around. We have an extra 4 minutes right now, so if you're all set, you're free to go. If you needed any help with any of that stuff, then just let me know. All right, I can show you. All right. Okay, we'll see you guys. See you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye, Alexis. Yeah, go ahead, Justin. You guys are doing, it was the first page only, so 1 through 15. So just 1 through. Yep, no problem. Thank you, too. Yes, Cameron. Do you have your calculator with you? So you get that set of notes back up. So do you understand I need to take this here and so, okay, so you have this in here? And what kind of calculator do you got? A graphing calculator?
Yeah.
So it looks like this. All right, so do me a favor, hit this button right here. So hit alpha. And then is it flashing with a little A? Then hit the Y equals button. Do you see this menu? Okay, good. So that if you didn't, it's just an older calculator, but you're good. So see this, how this number 1 is highlighted right now? Like the shading is over the number 1. That's good because this means numerator over denominator. So you're just going to hit enter right now and see how it opens up the fraction. So now just put a 1 on top, put the 4 on the bottom. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not the problem we're doing. Look on your paper. What were the numbers on? Yeah, so 5/3 on top and then the 3 on the bottom. Now just make sure you move over. So you see this, do your minus sign and do the same exact thing. Hit your alpha key, hit the Y equals key, and then the one that we want is already highlighted. So we hit enter again. Was it 1/2? And then minus 1/2. And then by doing it this way, it actually gives it to you as a fraction. Okay. Yep. Bye, Kevin.